Hello class, Mr. G here, and in this video we are going to talk about the area of irregular shapes. So I broke out the Legos for this video. It's a good tool, I think, for showing area, and I have a red block down here, and a red block is 2 by 4, so the area of this block is 8, and that's pretty easy to count. Count singly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, rectangles and squares are really pretty easy when it comes to area. So let's make that a square. And now it is 4 by 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. And we could count the dots, and there would be 16 dots. But what happens when you all of a sudden get a little curved ball and something like this occurs? Let's just do that. Okay, now we have what's called an irregular shape, because if we just trace the outline, we don't have the rectangle or square like we did before, so the formulas for area that we were using before don't work at this point. So what are we going to do? Okay, well, the simplest thing to do is just to break things into pieces. Okay, because I know, and let me show you here, let's take this red one off. I'm going to replace it with a blue one just to show that we can separate this into two shapes that are either rectangles or squares. And if they were triangular, we could use that as well because we know the formula for the area of a triangle. So if we're looking at the total area of these three pieces of this irregular shape, one thing I could do is I could just say, okay, here is a square that is 4 by 4, and 4 by 4 is 16, and here is a rectangle that is 2 by 4, and 2 by 4 is 8, and so my total area is 16 plus 8, or 24. Okay, so here I have it set up again, and this is my shape. If I take away the Legos, okay, what I have here is a complex shape, and it's complex simply because it's not a simple square, it's not a simple rectangle, it's not a simple triangle. So I can't use my basic formulas. I have to divide it into pieces and just find the individual areas, add them together to find the total area of the shape. So again, this side was 4, 4, 4, the top is 4, this cross side is 4, this was 2 and 2. Okay, so in finding the area of each individual shape, 4 by 4 is 16, 4 by 2 is 8, and 16 plus 8 gives me a total area of 24 square units. 24 square units. So here I have another complex shape, but I've color-coded it for you so that you can see how I would break it into rectangles. But if we were to just look at this shape from a pictorial point of view without having blocks inside of it, it might look something like this. Now that looks a little bit more intimidating. Okay, should have maybe used a straight edge, but you get the idea. And the point that I want to make out of this is if we go back to the Legos, okay, put those down here, same shape, all we have to do is divide it into rectangles that we can determine the measurements of, which we can, okay, so I'm going to use that colors that we had up there, break it into rectangles, and if we look at the top one is 1, 2, 3, 4 high, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 4 by 10, which gives me an area of the top piece of 40. The the middle section, which is red, is 1, 2, 3, 4 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 times 6 is 24. And the bottom section, the blue on the bottom, is also 4 by 6, so that area is also 24. And if I'm looking for the entire area of this piece, okay, taking it all as one, Then I just take all of those measurements individually and add them up. 40 plus 24 plus 24, and I get 88 square units. Okay, that's all there is to it. Just practicing maybe some different configurations.